Imagine standing on top of a mountain and being able to see for miles in every direction. Well, that's what it's like skiing in Colorado. And I'm sure if any of you have ever been skiing in Colorado, you know how great it is. Ever since I was a child, my family's been taking me skiing to several different resorts, with our latest one being, of course, to Colorado. And I remember after we left Colorado, it made me think about how skiing has changed for me since I was a child, how much time I spend with my family on these trips, and how every other resort I've been to doesn't compare to Colorado. My family's been going on these trips for over 10 years now, and we started this tradition when I was only 6. I remember the first time I went skiing, it was at a very small ski resort, and I remember that I was scared at first because I didn't know how to ski. And I remember falling down and crashing while I was learning, and I can't tell you how many times I did that before I finally got the hang of it. But I also remember once I did get the hang of it, I really enjoyed it and I didn't want to leave. And I think that's part of the reason why we've been taking this trip for annually now for several years, because we enjoy it. My family does, and we also enjoy how much time we spend with each other. When we go on these trips, we're only with our family, so we can only really talk to each other. We don't know anyone, and none of our friends are there to speak to, so we end up spending a lot of time together. Also, I end up spending a lot of time with my brothers. I have two brothers, and we're all very different. And we really don't get along when we're at home, but for some reason, when we're skiing out together on the slopes, we end up getting along and really enjoying each other's company. And I think that's why this trip became an annual thing. But I also remember that every other ski trip we've been on hasn't compared to our latest one in Colorado. I remember when we went to Colorado, we were skiing down actual mountains. At every other resort we've been to, it's been mostly just slopes and hills. But in Colorado, it's actually the mountains, which is super cool. And not only is it one mountain, but it's multiple mountains you can go down. At every other resort, we'd end up taking the same slope and path down several times. But in Colorado, every time we got to the top of the mountain, we'd take a different path down, and it was a new experience every time. Also, something in Colorado that makes it pretty awesome is the scenery. When you're on top of a mountain and you can see for miles in every direction, and just the snow falling, and when you're going down the mountains through trees and you can just see the wildlife, it's super cool. And you can't really get that at any other ski resort. And I remember as soon as I left Colorado, I couldn't wait to go back. And again, that made me just think about skiing when I was a child at all these little resorts and spending time with my family at every resort we've been to. And finally, how Colorado was our best trips because we spent a ton of time together. I was experienced from the time I spent when I was a child, and plus it was a better ski resort than any other place I've been to. And I'm sure you can relate to that if any of you have ever found an activity that you enjoy and look forward to doing, because that's me with skiing. Every year I look forward to going on the ski trip and spending time with my family. And I remember every year after I leave these ski trips, I can't wait to go back.